Welcome to the Positively You podcast. I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I'm passionate about helping you shift the way you think so you can create a life you're absolutely obsessed with. Each week, I'll be bringing you a guest or a thought that's going to help you feel more optimistic and equipped to take real action. Get ready to push past limiting beliefs, ditch that negativity, and start showing up as the best and most positive version of you. Girl, let's do this. And we are back with another episode of the Positively You podcast. Today's episode is an interview that I have been sitting on for months and months and months. And when I pulled it up to get it edited and all ready for today and re-listened to the interview I had with Kara, I was like, why have I been sitting on this? This is so good. But there's a time and a reason for everything. And so today is the day that this episode needed to get out into the world. And I'm so excited for you to listen to it. Today's interview is with my friend Kara Smith. Kara Smith is a defender, and you might be wondering, what the heck does that even mean? Don't worry, we get into it in the episode. You will walk away with a complete understanding about what it means to be a defender and figuring out what you are currently defending and if it's really what you want to be prioritizing in your life. Now, I'm sure you're like, what the heck? I'm not even going to keep you waiting any longer. Let's just get right into the episode. You're going to walk away feeling fired up, inspired, and empowered. This is such a good one. So let's get into it. I have Kara Smith on the podcast today, and I am so freaking excited to talk to Kara. I met Kara about a year ago online through an event that we were supposed to attend, and then yay, COVID. And I actually remember, Kara, we had a Zoom call with a whole group of people and you spoke on it. And I was like, who is this chick? I need to know her. Like there was like fire boiling up inside of you. And I was like, this chick, I need to know her. And so I'm so happy that I've gotten to know you. So yeah, there's a really like, everyone's probably on the edge of their seat now. Like, who is this Kara?
I know. I have to deliver now.
You do. Who are you? Do you want to give me just a quick introduction of who you are and kind of what you're all about?
Yes. I actually remember that call, and a lot of people, not a lot, but a few people have said, I remember you because I was pretty fired up. And
it was a good one.
Yeah. They were like, whoa. And then I'm really relaxed and chill also. So it's, a lot of things. Anyway, I'm Kara. I teach self-defense in person. And I started karate when I was 9 years old and did it for many years and taught for many years and as a younger person. And then I became a mother and was an adult, and secretly, sneakily, this whole idea of self-defense came back into my life as something that felt important. And it was really random how it happened. I was not trying to bring this back into what I talked about online. I was doing a lot of other things. And this concept of self-defense really, really started growing in my heart. And then the words evolved and flipped to be defender of self. And then I dropped that and it was just be a defender. And it was a very powerful experience to get to this point of what this message is that evolved on its own and, or miraculously, however you want to look at it, as something that was important to start sharing now. So here I am.
That's amazing. And that's something that I really resonate with and love about your message is how your life experiences build on each other in ways that you don't see until you turn around and look back. And that's something that I think is really, really cool about your story and how you've kind of gotten to the point where you're at.
And I've been really okay with uncomfortably walking the path. It hasn't felt good, but I know that I know what I don't know. There's something in the future. There's a direction that I'm going and it feels right. And I'm just taking the next right step. and I'm going to see where it goes. But as I look back, it already, I mean, it just gives me chills, my full body chills, as the things unfold as they're supposed to, right? Even though it's uncomfortable and icky feeling to do that publicly online. But a lot of the response that I get is like, oh, we just love watching you struggle with this. We love watching you figure this out. And it's like a beautiful struggle to them. And I'm like, okay, I hope it looks fine.
Yeah. Not in a like trolling way where it's like, oh, I love to watch you struggle. It's more like, oh my gosh, this is the most relatable thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
That is really
wrestle
cool.
with what the purpose is, like what's happening here, and figure it out openly.
Yeah. I love that. So your background then that's kind of led you to this point that you mentioned you've done karate since you were 9.
Mm-hmm.
And has that been a part of your life this whole time? You said you kind of not stepped away, but it got brought back in. So is it something that's always been a huge part?
Yes. My parents got divorced and they both got remarried. And my mom started karate when she was single and then married her instructor. So it's my stepdad that's my karate instructor. And I was, very young when he came into my life. And then it's his dad that started this legacy. So it's like it was our family business, everything, live, breathe, die by it, for a long time. So it's much bigger than just me taking the karate class.
Very cool. That's awesome. Okay, so I want to ask you a little bit then. You're a black belt, which is like the coolest thing ever. And I want to ask you about, so obviously you know a lot about defense, self-defending your body, how to protect yourself. Does that relate at all to your mind and protecting your mind?
100%, which is the coolest part. So I teach the class and we talk about your physical body, and I use a hula hoop and put the hula hoop over your body. Pretend you can envision this hula hoop over your body. You are in charge of this space. It goes over your mind. It goes over your body, every part of you. And you have the privilege and responsibility to protect it. And it includes your mind. So the first, like weapons in defense, like the things that you carry with you always, are your awareness and your voice. So if you're going to protect your body, you use awareness and your voice. If you're going to protect your mind, you use awareness and your voice. The voice that you use to speak and the voice that you say in your mind, the things you say to yourself in your mind.
Got it.
Super important.
Yes. Well, and it's so funny because it's easy a lot of times to relate things to our physical body, right? And then being like, oh, wait, no, I'm actually in charge of my mind too. I think that is a big kind of aha moment.
I think a lot of people think, I don't know, that there's just, I thought this is what's going through my head. This is the only option that I have. Like I'm afraid, I'm scared, I'm frustrated, I'm mad, I'm all these things. It's like, oh, I have one choice and that's it. And that is not what I believe at all. I think that those are valid and real, and to be aware of them and to accept them and feel them is important. But then what are the other options? Like, what are the other things that you could feel as well? What else could be true in this situation? Whatever it is. It's hard to kind of like pick up something as an example that people would relate to when you're like, we talk a lot about like being physically grabbed and how to get out of it. And then what else is grabbing us that's holding us back as far as, limiting beliefs or just fear and stress. And I always like to bring it back down to just what's the bottom line. And if we all pause and take a second, what are the things that we want most? We want our bodies to be safe. We want our minds to be healthy. And what does that take? What do we need to make that happen? And it's usually just not very much. Like we just don't really need that much. Like in parenting, what do you want for your kid? Well, I want them to be loved and fed and safe. So if you do these things, those top things, the top things for yourself, for your mind, for your kids, whatever it is, like everything else you can let go. Like it doesn't have to be, everything is like top priority. I like pick what's at the top, address those things, and then like give yourself some grace on the rest.
I love that. I love that you actually brought up priority. Me and my husband were having a talk about this the other day when we were on one of our daily walks about priorities and how sometimes we think we have priorities, but our life doesn't reflect what we say out loud as our priority. And you use that differently, saying, what are you defending versus what's your priority?
Right.
To keep in line with being a defender. But I love that
Right.
because so often it's like, oh, my family's top priority, but it's like you work 80 hours a week and no one ever sees you. So there's a disconnect somewhere. And so I love what you're saying about that with being, what is it that I'm defending? What is it that I actually want and believe? And are those questions that we need to be asking ourselves a lot more than we probably are?
Yes, but also you're already doing it. Like you are already defending something.
Okay.
Your life. So, I mean, we're all saying the exact same thing. It's just the way we're approaching it. Your life is already reflecting what you care about,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So, maybe it's your comfort zone. Maybe you're like really holding on to fears that are holding you. Like you are protecting those. You want them. You are prioritizing them in your life because you're maybe not making a change. Maybe you're not doing something that can be that's scary. But we're all defending things. It's like when you're dropped in a situation where someone says something against your core belief and it makes you fired up, like, ooh, like, oh, I really care about this. And then you find these things that you really care about, but you have to kind of be aware of them and pay attention
Yeah.
um, on what's worth fighting for to you.
I think that that's so interesting that you say that we're already defending things. And I think, I don't know, with this kind of work and with this kind of thinking, there really is a moment of peeling back a layer and being exposed just to yourself of like, oh shoot,
Oh
that's what
yeah, it's
I'm
ugly.
defending. That's what
It's
I'm
ugly.
prioritizing. Because I know I'm even thinking about like, yeah, I bet there's a whole load of us that are really defending comfort zones, like real hard. And
Real
that's
hard.
like, is that
Yeah.
the life and the legacy that I really want to leave behind? Is like, I
And,
was a super comfort zone person.
yeah. But see, at certain phases in life, that's just fine. You know, like maybe we're dealing with a lot of things and like our comfort zone is keeping us safe and we need that, you know, maybe there's trauma or other things going on where your comfort zone is a place to be. It's just being aware of where you are and making the conscious decision that that's what's right for you right now. That's okay. Like
Yeah.
everything's okay. You just have to, I like the idea of being conscious of what I am choosing and then kind of seeing how my life plays out because of what I put first. And you kind of really actually have to put it first if you say you care about it,
Yeah.
if you want the result, right? So it's just an interesting way to approach doing new things or trying to get a new result out of your life. I do not want to look back at my life and think I just was great. I just played it safe and everything was fun and everything was fine and whatever, you know,
Yeah.
like I want to be just really comfortable with figuring it out as I go and trusting myself that I can do what I need to do. And I always can because I'm like, well, we'll figure it out. Let's go. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what I am loving as we're talking about this is that it's coming full circle with going back to physical self-defense. And that's like where your background and where like everything comes from is the awareness. Because with that, right, you need to be aware of your surroundings, aware of like what's going on, not just looking down at your phone and getting jumped or whatever. And so
Yes. Yes.
awareness, and I'm loving that. And then using your voice, like you said, you need to use your voice to stay protected in a physical aspect, but also the voice inside of your head. And then you said something and I just lost it.
Oh, dang it.
But just about, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to like go back and listen to it. You said something real good. Like full circle. But just about reflecting back on like the things that you want and living from a place of being more deliberate. And
Totally.
that's something that you talk about a lot, is just that, you know, I think sometimes we sit back and we admire other people, or we look at like, oh, well, they get to have this life because fill in the blank, or I don't deserve that because fill in the blank. And something that I love that you talk about a lot is that it's not reserved for someone special. Like this amazing, fulfilling lives full of just really awesome things and goodness is for everybody. But you have to be aware. You have to choose it. And your goal, I know that you've talked about before, is to help other people feel alive and to not just live life, but to like really lean in and feel it. And so my question would be, how do you do that? Like, where do you start? What if I'm someone who I'm not aware, I'm not using my voice, I'm not living intentionally? What do I do? Where do I start?
I know it is tricky. It is tricky. But really, I mean, as you start paying attention to how you feel, like your awareness of your life, of the things that you're choosing, it just is like baby steps. You start doing it and then you're like, oh, I do this and I feel like this and I don't like that. Or I hang out with you and you make me feel bad. Like I can limit my time with a person that just brings me down. I don't have to stay in this place. I just think that if we understood how much power we have over how our day goes and the words that we choose to say to ourselves about how our day is going, we just start taking back a little bit of power bit by bit by bit. And it's really quite miraculous how much control we have over it, which control is not the right word because that feels like I'm trying to control a situation. It like beautifully unfolds in a way that if it doesn't go perfectly, it's okay because you have like this secure place you're working from that you listen to yourself. And then it's like, oh yeah, life happens.
I am absolutely loving this episode, and something else that I am loving this summer is my podcast sponsor, HydroJug. You know that I'm always talking about drinking enough water and making sure that your body is staying hydrated, which is why I was so excited to be able to partner with HydroJug this summer. Seriously, if your goal is showing up as the best and most positive version of you, which you're listening to this podcast, so I'm pretty sure that it is, staying hydrated is key in doing that. I have been taking my HydroJug everywhere with me this summer to make sure that I'm getting all the water that I need to be my best self. And HydroJug makes it easy. They have their carry straps, an integrated handle, and of course, the super cute sleeves that you can get in so many different patterns and colors. But what I love the very most is how much water it holds, a half gallon. So I don't have to worry about refilling throughout the day. I can just fill up once and be on my way. To help you stay happy and hydrated this summer, HydroJug is giving you 10% off. Just use the code POSITIVELYYOU at thehydrojug.com, and then me and you can start hydrating in style. All right, let's get back into this amazing episode.
I had a really interesting conversation with someone about parenting very recently, and there is a lot of fear around. It's a few different people. It's a common conversation. There's a lot of fear around parenting and making sure that your kid is going to have the experience you want them to, or that they don't offend someone, or they don't say the wrong thing, or they aren't a bully, or they aren't all of the things that we are worried about for ourselves, for our family. And I'm listening to them, and they have so much anxiety and fear around the experience their kid's having. And I honestly wanted to just hug them and release them from it if I could. And I said, okay, well, think about it this way. What about the fact that you're learning and growing, your child is learning and growing, and each experience that they have is teaching them something. So everything that we do is giving us information. If we would compute it into our brains in a way that is just awareness, like, oh, this is how this felt. Okay, you talk it through. This is how that felt. Did you like it? Do you want to repeat that? Is there a way we can avoid that? I don't know. Let's figure it out. Instead of like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And you're just taking that I'm above you, I really am worried about you relationship and evening the playing field. And just, we are people here learning and growing and supporting each other. And your awareness in every part of your life grows and serves you, and it's beautiful. Yeah. It's really, really, really helpful to be aware of how you're feeling, how your child's feeling, and just allow it, whatever it is, the feelings to happen.
Yeah. And I love that what you said is just, it comes in as information and then you're able to process that. There was a podcast that I was listening to a while ago that said that the best phrase that she has learned through her life is, "Oh, that's interesting." And just taking everything and not having to like have an answer from it, but being like when a feeling comes up and you're like, I'm feeling this. Oh, that's interesting. And kind of going from there. And I think allowing your kids to also have that. Because if we as mothers are trying to create these amazing experiences and have our kids just have these lives that are perfect and filled with nothing, then what's going to happen the first time they experience failure, when they're 20 and they haven't experienced it before? We're not doing any favors. Like that's going to crush
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And so
anything they can do to live and experience highs and lows of life while I'm there to like catch them when they fall and cheer for them. I really want it. I really, really am open to them experiencing highs and lows.
Well, and I love what you say too about you doing it at the same time, about bringing that down, because you've never been a parent before either. Like we're in this together at the same time. And so I also think that allowing our kids to see us as not this higher authority figure of, beating down on them, but as, yeah, I make mistakes too. And yeah, I failed at this too. And it's okay, because it just makes the experience so much more relatable and human to both of us, so that when they become an adult, I remember, becoming an adult or whatever and thinking like, oh, I thought my parents had all the answers or that they had their crap all together. And
it's
at first, it seems really overwhelming because you're like, I'm failing at this adulting thing. And then you're like, oh, hold up, I'm actually not. We're all kind of taking in information and learning. And so I love that, because it's hard to measure our success and it's hard to feel like we're doing a good job, but we are. Like, just
yes,
take a step back and relax.
Right. I think that when we try to present as someone that has it all together, like to our kids or just anything, if we're trying to present a certain way in our life, it just feels like we're already living from a place of inauthenticity. Like, it's like, okay, I am learning, I'm figuring this out. I am been on earth longer than you. So I do have some words of wisdom for you, but I am learning, you're learning, we're figuring this out together. And how much fun that can be had when you kind of take away the do it because I said so, I'm in charge of you mentality is pretty amazing and worth it.
Yeah. And I can totally see that. Anyone who, if you follow Kara, your relationship with your son is just amazing, and something that I hope to kind of follow in your footsteps. My oldest is just 10, so we're just getting to that fun teenager time of life. But I love how you're coming at it from, like, you guys are really tight and really good friends, but I can tell that it's because you're not coming at it as his authority, but also not just like, I'm your friend, you can, because
Totally.
I think that's definitely a line you can blur and make.
I don't want anyone to think that I am just like buddies with him all the time. He's really, really fun. And he is okay with being on social media. So he's shown a lot. But I just enjoy him so much. I like what his thought process is. And this is all my kids. I just show him the most. What they're thinking, how they come to these ideas. And I really listen to them and respect what they have to say. And it's true and genuine, and they feel it. So I think that the big secret is treating them like you really, really like them. And I think when they get older and become teenagers, it gets harder. You're so worried about them turning out okay and them getting grades so that they can go to college and so that they just won't be an epic failure. Like, you want them to live a life. And so you're just worried about that all the time. And it's like, things take care of themselves. I am your mother and I really, really like you. I like talking to you. And there's the dog. There's the dog.
It happens.
They feel from me how much fun it is, how much fun I have conversing with them. And that's good. Back to the bottom line. What do you really want? I want them to feel loved. I love them. Okay. I took care of that today. That happened today. We're good. I didn't have to worry about a lot of other things.
Yeah. Well, and 100%, like you said, it comes back to that of what am I intentionally choosing? I'm putting this forth because I don't think any of us would be like, yeah, my kids are number 8 on my priority list, or like
no
they're
one
down.
would say that. You're right.
No one would say it.
Right.
But do our lives sometimes reflect it?
Yeah.
No
one's perfect every day.
Is our phone ahead? Is our, just different things that might. And so I love that you're just treating them like they're human beings that you really enjoy and that you value and that you listen to. And I don't know, I think it speaks volumes to just defending that relationship and really allowing your kids to learn and grow and have a great relationship with you.
Yes. You said it perfectly. The whole defender thing is choosing what you want, choose what you care about, and then act like it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy. It's really, really easy. What do you care about?
It's funny that the things that we think are so hard, they really are. With so many things that I've learned and tried to implement, it's always these, oh, that's really simple. But we just don't do the simple things sometimes. Sometimes we want these like crazy, complicated formulas and these just intense things that we need to do to completely overhaul our lives to, live in this happiness or whatever. And it really is like these simple things. And so I love that that's what you're speaking to with being a defender and just being intentional with it. So I have a question for you about that though. Is that something that you, when you teach these classes or when you talk to other people, that you would encourage, instead of just becoming aware of it, that like you write it down, that you name it, or is it just kind of more organic?
So in the class that I teach, it's a 1.5 hour class. We talk about, it's a lot of discussion, and then self-defense techniques and then discussion again. But the beginning part is trying to decide lists and lists. Anything is a good idea. What is worth defending? There's like usually the adult side, I divide the adults and kids do it on their own. And they think of what is worth defending, and we're just jotting stuff down. Everything that you can think of that would be worth defending. And then in the end, we come back to the list and we pick some things that are most important to us individually. And then how do we defend these things? And it's like, you want your body to feel better. Okay, here's some physical things. I make them keep body because I'm teaching them how to protect their body. And then they fill in the other ones that they want to do. But I mean, sleeping, drinking water, taking care of your body. So protect it. Don't let other people touch it, treat it improperly, but then like feel good too. So, I mean, it's just your whole self, your whole body, mind, spirit, soul, whatever you want to say is important and needs to be taken care of and protected.
Yeah.
To feel good. So you can't leave any part of it out.
I love that. So if I'm sitting here and I'm listening and I'm like, okay, I'm not near Kara. I don't know if I can do a class right now, but I kind of want to implement a little bit of this in. So I can sit down and I can brainstorm, like you said, no wrong answers, everything that I feel like I should defend. Then how many should I pick? 5, 3, 1?
3.
3?
3. I have them pick 3. I mean, really, we can only do a handful of things well in our life. Like, I agree. At all. I mean, maybe 3. So very, very few. And then other things. I care about a lot of things. There's 3 at the top. I'm going to work hard at those. And then all of these other things I'm going to work moderately hard at. And I'm not going to worry about it if I don't make it.
Well, and there's a time and a place, right? Like these 3 are my focus for right now. Yes. When I feel good there, then I can start to implement some other things. Okay. So I've brainstormed, I've narrowed it down to 3, and then kind of like a game plan. Is that, or like, okay, if my body is my priority or whatever, pick something. Do you kind of come up with like a game plan of how you're going to make sure that you are defending that?
Yes. So I have a statement that I don't have it in front of me and I don't have it memorized, but it's, my name is Kara. I am a defender. I defend my body by doing this. And so you're like taking the title on. Some people don't, the word defender doesn't resonate with everyone, and that's fine. It's exactly the same information that a lot of people are giving. It's just how it's being, how you like hearing it. And I am at a phase in my life where I'm like in middle motherhood. And this is a really important phase to me that is not talked about enough online. For all that we consume online, there's so much about babies and younger motherhood, and then, self-love and all these other things. But there's this phase that is really, really special, and it is expiring. There's like a timetable on it because they're moving out. I mean, if all is said and done, and I did a good job, like they are leaving and moving
Yeah.
on. So it's like, there's this little period of time that they're learning so much. I'm learning so much and I'm enjoying them so much, but it's going to be over. And you don't talk, I mean, you don't really think that when they're babies, you don't
Yeah.
talk about it that way. So, I think I did not answer your question, but this phase, this defender phase for me is super important that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what your question was.
You're good. No, because I love that though, that it's defending the phases that you're in. So it's something that, yeah, you do have to
Your
reevaluate
game
different times,
plan.
right?
Yes.
Game plan. There you go.
Yes. That's where you were. Yes. So choosing the thing that is most important to you and who you're choosing. Wow. Who you're choosing to receive the information from. Like you choose who resonates, right? Like when you're online having a voice, you're trying to like grab the people that hear it and it helps, and you're trying to pull them up, and then you look to people to be inspired by, and they pull you up, and everybody is just pulling everybody up, and you like pick the person that can deliver the message in a way that resonates with you, like truly. And if you feel it, then that's great. And that maybe that goes for a long time, and maybe it doesn't matter, but it's just these messages that we're all putting out into the world, or are just trying to elevate the people that can hear us.
Yeah.
And so that's what being a defender is. And I really love when they can take the title at the end of the class and put it on. Like I was saying, it doesn't resonate with everyone, the word, but when you do get it, it's like, oh, I'm a defender of my life. Like I'm choosing this and I like it. And then when you get to this like healthier, more aware place of yourself, and I have the hula hoop, I can then expand it to include more people. And because I'm in a more sure-footed place, and I want anybody that can hear me that needs these things, I want to serve. I want them to feel like it's possible, because it really, really is.
Yeah. Well, and it's a full circle moment, right? With the hula hoop, but
Mm-hmm.
with that, when you really learn and take care of yourself and you get to that healthier place, that it just expands and that you're able to bring other people in. And then the world is just a beautiful place. And we all love each other and we're all just doing our best.
It's just a happier place. It really is. And things can happen. Like my son his phone fell in the lake, and he was like, oh, my phone fell in the lake. And I was like, oh man, okay, that's a bummer, or whatever. It's like all the little things that you could just be mad about, or you could just like be reactive about, like your ability to weather things that come just expands. It really, truly does.
Yeah.
It's very real.
Oh my goodness. It comes again back to the physical self-defense, that when you are prepared and when you've done the work and you know what to do, you are safe from the attacks, from the storms, from the bad people and the things.
All of them.
It comes again to your mind when you're like, oh, yes, exactly. Like the chills.
Give me the chills.
So good and I love when there is something that you can relate to something physical, because I don't know, like it's so much easier to understand it that way. That's why I love analogies. I use them way too often, but I love how parallel this one is, that it's the self-defense. You learn all about that. But then once you have that mind, you're able to weather those storms and you're able to help other people too. And the work that you're doing, I'm so happy that you're doing it. I'm so happy that I got to be there for like, not the beginning, but to like see that fire boiling inside of you and to see it all narrow down. Like it's been the funnest like journey to like tag along with and watch you.
That's what people say. And I'm like, if you have something on your heart that you want to give, you want to serve in a way, there's just something brewing inside of you, just take the step. Just take the step, because the right people will come into your path and that you can help, and that will help like guide you to be able to like make it happen. I think a lot of women right now have a similar thing on their heart, that they want to serve in a way that is possible with their family life. And I can just be here and connect with you, and we don't have to be in the same place. It's like pretty amazing. But if there's something that feels like it's nagging at you that you need to share, I mean, it's uncomfortable at first for sure, but now I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. I'm used to it being uncomfortable, and it's fine. But there's been a lot of really, really beautiful experiences, and connections that I've made already. And it's worth it. It's worth it to be brave, to put yourself out there.
Well, and I think the lesson too there is take that first step. You didn't have, a year ago, you didn't have this all figured out. You weren't like, and this is what I'm doing. And this, it was, okay, I feel this. I'm going to take this first step. And I think that, we all have something inside of us, and that's what we need to be defending, is that thing that
whatever that is
inside of us. Exactly.
It's there for a reason. It's real. It's true. Defend it.
Defend it. Oh, I love it, Kara. Okay. So you have so many fun things in the works and so many fun things that you offer to people. Where can we find you, and what kind of fun things do you have going on right now?
So I am at the Kara Smith on Instagram. And then thekarasmith.com is my website where you can buy t-shirts or whatever, Defender t-shirts. And you can register for classes there, but I am in Arizona. So I'm starting a text subscription to be able to really get into teenagers' phones and support mothers to remind them to engage with their child in a way that's happy and fun. And then to remind kids that their moms are awesome. So I'm like in the middle and just trying to have both sides see each other more clearly. And then it's not ready yet, but there is going to be a video version of the Defender class.
Oh, very cool.
So that people that are not right here can get to it too. So that's coming.
That's amazing, Kara. I am so excited for all that you're doing and for the steps that you don't even know that you're going to be taking in the future, and the cool things that when you look back, it's going to be really awesome. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and doing an interview with me. The world needs to hear what you have to say, and I'm happy to be a small little vessel to get that out there. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging out with me again today. I'm so glad you pressed play. If you want to take a quick second to share this episode with someone you think would love it too, that would be amazing. If you're loving the show, make sure you go and leave a review on iTunes. Reviews are like magic for podcasts, and your review will help get this show into the ears of more amazing women just like you. And come find me over on Instagram. I'm there at positively.jessie, and I cannot wait to hang out with you some more. So until next time, have an amazing week.